Hey guys, today we are going to interview yet another very interesting person. If I think of this friend of mine, I can think of the word luxury, style, fashion, communication, and above all, a very authentic friend of mine, simple, humble, a very nice, friendly person. So I'm going to invite him onto the camera and you can enjoy the interview and you can learn a lot about fashion, style, and here, Mr. Dominic Holt here. Hi, Dom. How are you?
Hi, Vimla. Thank you so much. Such lovely words. Haven't heard this in years, I think. And I haven't heard you in years.
Yeah.
Thanks for that lovely.
Yeah. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. The weather's quite hot, but I'm good. Yeah, I'm in fact in one of my boutiques of Zoya in Gurgaon, and it's in the mall. So we are quite excited to be inside now. Now that the heat wave has started, winters are over, and now the summer is setting in. Or it has started already. So we're all excited to be indoors and not outdoors anymore.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So say something about you, Dom. Talk about your story. Who are you? Where are you from? What did you do in the past? And why are you now in the place wherever you are right now?
Sure. So, Vimla, we did start way back in South, and it was so lovely. I grew up in Hyderabad, of course, so I carry that Nawabi and Nizami feel, and maybe that continued in my journey as I progressed towards the luxury management from France, and then Delhi happened to me. So I think maybe that the beauty and aura of the royals from Hyderabad maybe got too sink into me. Maybe I grew up in that environment like that, in a very cosmopolitan Secunderabad side where we had people coming from different cultures and backgrounds and living. And that was something which was an idea of one of the Nizams who wanted people to come from the outside world. Like my mom is from Bombay, dad is an Anglo, and and that's how two different cultures meeting. So maybe I saw the best of both the worlds, and that got imbibed in my DNA in a sort of way. And I became very I became like the water. I could flow anywhere very easily, maybe. And maybe that's why I could live in Chennai, I could live in Bombay, I could live in Paris, I could live in Milan. So, and now, of course, Delhi, as I think, is the final place more or less for me.
Where you felt connected, where you felt more connected, the core values, which place made you feel more connected?
I think I should be honest to the place that I'm currently living in, Delhi, because it's got that big city metro vibe, gastronomy, art, architecture, and history. It's like, it's a mix of exactly geographically, if I have to say, is the center between Paris and Hyderabad. So it gives me that feel. The weather, the food, the people, the Urdu, the Mughal architecture. So it has, the vibrancy of Mughal and Islamic art. And at the same time, it has a big city vibe of Paris with the weather, with the fashion, with the luxury that it carries, and the British past history that it has. Yeah.
Whenever I remember Dom, I felt I'm a little jealous also. You always was very clear about what you want in life, what you want to pursue, and you do that. So what kind of sacrifices you do to do that?
First would be
you don't do anything for career. You don't do anything for career. You do everything for your person.
Correct, Vimla. I mean, you nailed it right. It was never for the career, it was the passion for what I like. So it's the passion which brought me so far, I would say, and got me into, I mean, something that I enjoyed with work or with my own self became my work, I should say. Yeah. So whatever I enjoyed about myself or doing about fine dining, or enjoyed about fine dressing, or fine styling up, or fine circles, friends like you, people with that intellectual mindset. It's very important for the friends or the circle that we all need to have. And that's where I thought maybe with that group, it just expanded and it became work and profession too for me. It's like the profession chose me and I didn't choose profession.
Yeah, true. But there are people who have a lot of passion in them, but they will go into survival mode, career, family. What is your suggestion for such people who have something, who are very clear about the passion, But they'll be
Yeah.
taken over by circumstances in survival mode.
Yeah. Vimla, very clearly, you have to do those sacrifices. Like I'm saying, I sacrificed my childhood in a way where not childhood, I mean the memories of my childhood. So I'm not living with my family here in Delhi because my family is more comfortable living in Hyderabad and they're more laid back. Delhi is a little more faster and little more hustle bustle and big city. It's a mega city, not a big city. It's a mega city. It's got 4 cities making it one big city. So you can imagine. So I've sacrificed or maybe I've let go of my past of me being that very laid back Hyderabadi, enjoying his Sundays biryani and enjoying his morning chai at some Irani cafe in Hyderabad and relaxed long drives by the lake or something. But so you have to do that, like in case you want to move up the ladder, both career wise and social wise. I think you have to let go of your certain past and move on. But in that bargain, it does not mean you forget your family and friends. Yeah.
Okay, so what was your first job other than the Sutherland? We both met at Sutherland, and we both joined on the same day, and that's when we know each other. So after Sutherland, where did you go?
So after Sutherland, Dell happened to me. Dell in Hyderabad itself was one of the big centers outside USA. Hyderabad, Dell is one of the biggest. Like you have Amazon and Google and all. So Dell was one of them. And I was more than happy to be with Dell. In fact, it shaped me up a lot. I stayed there for like 5 years, close to 5 years in that company. And so Dell Hyderabad was my moment of truth, where I, as a trainer, as a senior trainer, loved being there, working there, and back in my city in Hyderabad. But yes, maybe from there on, my wings started opening up and I wanted to fly more, go further in life. I just didn't want to sit there and be there in Hyderabad again. Because you want to do big in life. I could have done big in life even with Dell maybe. But like I said, the profession which I currently am into, I think that chose me to come to France and all that automatically. So after Dell,
where was the trigger? I want to understand the trigger aspect happened in the Dell.
So the trigger aspect, I would say, happened from something called very typical to all Indians. We don't want to do the night shifts. So maybe that was the trigger we had, the night shift trigger that we had. So American call centers and ITES always work night, given the time zones that we are in, two different time zones. So maybe the trigger happened from there, and something that came very, very much with the flair and natural being of me. I think that's how retail and luxury management started off. So I didn't want to go and keep researching much. And I was only happy to be given a scholarship with the college and all that, and so on and so forth. So I just took it up. Yeah.
So I know you as a very good trainer, very passionate trainer, but where did this retailing come into you? How did you know there is somebody called luxury person inside and the retailing inside you?
So when I started my career with GE, I started as a sales rep for the credit cards in US, and I always excelled in it. So maybe that's where the retail. So while that was an offline retail, online retail over the calls, but then I thought, why not take it offline as well? So maybe that's where it started, because I knew I could sell anything. I could sell biryani to a Hyderabad. So or maybe I could sell keema pound to a Delhiite without them knowing that is the most expensive, while they can get it only for like dirt cheap price in their own cities. So maybe that flair and that attitude wanted me to get into retail. Yeah.
Okay. Luxury. I'm so fascinated about that aspect in it.
Yeah. So the reason why luxury has become so much closer to what I wanted is because India was thriving. If you notice, India has always been a luxury place, no doubt. The kings and queens already lived it. So Hyderabad was one of them. You could see royalty everywhere, diamonds being talked about, the Golconda being talked about. Possessing a Golconda diamond is part of your culture now, like of the rich and the affluent. So So I wanted to see which business was thriving. Like you always want to put money or invest money in a business of hope or beauty or something that talks about a lot of money or a lot of materialistic stuff. So I thought, let me get into this and let me see how much money even I can make simultaneously. Yeah.
Well, was it difficult? Was it difficult from moving from a trainer to retailing and speaking about luxury products? Was it difficult? Was it easy?
Yes, it was. It was difficult initially, understanding all of that. Uh, uh, Frankly speaking, the best part about it has been the communication skills. There hasn't been any challenge on that aspect. So I could match that. I could package any product with the best kind of articulation of sales pitch and sell it across. And so there was only a different. See, we all start young and we all start at a different. I wasn't born with a silver spoon. So understanding the taste of a rich and affluent you would need a study. You need to study them because their behaviors are not as as, as the behavior of a regular consumer that you see. So you need to understand that mindset and you need to trigger that passion in them to buy the product that you so heartfully want to sell it to them. So there, yes, it took time, but like I said, thankfully, my communication skills always helped me, so I could match the two and make it happen. Yep.
One is communication, and completely agree with Dom is known for his communication skills, and I'm a big fan of Dom. I always ask him to ask about his voice, and he says, "What is that voice you say? What is the word you say?
Baritone." Yeah.
He says that,
Yeah.
and I was fascinated by his voice. I was fascinated by his communication skills and the way he carries himself. Can I ask one more personal question? How did you
Yeah.
how did you match your personality with your consumers, with your clients?
Vimla, like we always cross path. We are destined to meet some people. Maybe I was destined to meet you in Chennai, and that friendship had to go a long way. So maybe that way. So when you meet people back in France, I was lucky enough to meet people from the Louis Vuitton group, and they saw some kind of maybe something that which I couldn't see in myself, and they could see within me. And slowly and steadily the circle increased. And once, like I said, it's very important who you associate with, the people that you associate with. If your circle today is not talking about how to grow, how to thrive, how to make money, how to be the best while you still have what XYZ years of your life, I mean, that circle, you should never leave it. And I think maybe I was kind of selfish over there and I started associating myself with the same kind of circle, HNI circle that I wanted to be with. And maybe that's how I picked up the nuances of, living that life and that lifestyle. And rather than going to any grooming lesson or a grooming school, I got all of it from my own circle. Yeah. And of course, not to forget my parents, who as a kid always brought the best in me. So, yeah.
So they say you're the average of the 5 people you're always with, and that's what you're living.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is I want you to give a tip for somebody who is suffering from complex. Probably they want to mingle with luxury, or they want to be around the people who are talking about. Let's say there are a lot of online courses coming up. They want to become a millionaire, billionaire, or they want to excel and they want to become wealthy. But their original personality, that original identity doesn't allow them to move on. So what is a tip you would give? They are from here, but they want to move over here. But that original identity doesn't allow them to move, even though they mingle with a similar kind of people or the people who have already achieved. What is a tip you would give for them?
So clearly, in a case like this, I would recommend people to have first the life of discipline. Discipline is so important. And when you discipline yourself in that direction, so you have to meet this kind of crowd, or you want to grow up the ladder, you need to start having that discipline of doing those things. So today, what's the first thing in the morning you would do? How would you go about having a meeting? How would you go about having your first breakfast? How would you go about having your first conversation? So you need to start working on those first small, finer things in life, but in a disciplined way, like I'm saying. You cannot do it one day and you forget it the second day, or you do it only 2 days and you forget it. No, you have to keep on going, keep on doing it daily. You want to learn about the fine cheese in the world. You want to learn about the fine wine in the world. You want to know the best luxury cars in the world. Learn daily. Learn daily about it. And you can learn only one bit of it, but learn daily. Make it a habit. Because subconsciously, when you discipline yourself like this, subconsciously you become that person, or you become to live that life. You might not have it today. I mean, for example, Jay Shetty, who started as a monk, but today is elsewhere. I mean, or for that matter, Priyanka Chopra. She started at just as a regular girl, but that discipline in her life to reach to Hollywood today and to marry an Hollywood actor, a famous Hollywood actor or a singer. I mean, that's all effort of what you did as a child or as a young adult and how you disciplined your way of life. So that's my first advice to everyone. If you want to go up there, you need to bring that learning, and that learning has to be as a daily exercise. You can't go away from it. So because only then subconsciously you start living that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And in the process, what all you sacrificed? Because you must have gone through some pain in the process. Discipline is one.
Yes. So in the
Sacrifice.
process, yeah, the biggest sacrifice you would end up giving is, there would be times when people mock at you. There would be times when people don't understand you as to why you want to do this. Or there could be some friends also might leave your way because they think you have turned into a different person. But they wouldn't see that you have turned into a different person for your own good. And there are times like this. So people would end up thinking that you have got a new attitude, or you have got a new circle of friends. So we don't fit in. No, but that's not how it is. If you're still humble to your roots, if you're still holding on to your roots where you come from, I don't think the true friends will never leave you. So, but if there are people who leave you, or if there are people who mock at you for being, in that, so immediately you should say that, hey, it's not worth it, because what I'm going for, or what I'm going to get is more valuable than what I'm going to lose. So just move on. I mean, keep the ball rolling. And if you feel you have sacrificed those friends, you have sacrificed that time, or you have sacrificed that kind of energy, forget it. Only know that your ROI is going to be a huge one. So just keep on going. Yeah.
Beautiful. What are give me one best practice, your discipline, one thing what you do in the morning and evening? What is your routine?
I take good sleep.
That's in the night.
So,
what do you do after sleep? First thing in the morning before sleep. What is that one?
So first thing in the morning, as always, in fact, my work starts the night before. I always check my calendar, what I have to do the next day. So since I'm now leading a very busy life where my calendar blocks like totally full on. So what I do is, as a regional head, I have a lot of work to do. So immediately I ensure my calendar for the next day is set. I'm prepared for it. If I have any pending work, immediately I work at night and I get ready for the meeting tomorrow morning, or for the planning or whatever. So my work starts a day before. And the next day, the day when I'm working, I ensure the day finishes the work in the first half, so that it sets the course for the next couple of hours, because it needs to go as a flow. When the leader is charged up, when the leader is motivated, that energy cascades to the team. So I look at that kind of format where I do the first half entire work, and then so that the energy and the tone has been set for the day. And for that, I prepare the night before. Yeah.
So say something about your company, where you work and what is your role there?
So currently I'm working with a Tata group of company called Titan, and Titan has many brands, popular brands in India like Tanish, Carrot Lane, Mia, Fast Track, Titan I Plus, Titan Watches, Helios, and Zoya. So I'm currently heading Zoya for North and East in the capacity of regional business head for Zoya. Yeah, retail and marketing. Yeah.
give me one fashion tip for women. Let's say that uh, women want to change their identity from wherever they are now to associate themselves with whatever brands you are doing. Give me one style tip or style. When I say style tip, the thought process, the habits they have from whatever you observe from your clients. Just out of curiosity.
It's a confidence. Yeah. So it's a confidence, Vimla. Women carry this huge confidence, which even men cannot show, frankly speaking. So when women are very confident, it shows up in their dressing, it shows up in the walk, it shows up in the talk, and it shows up in the accessories they use. So, a woman can be confident even wearing a sari. So that's one thing, a woman should live up to. She might not have all the knowledge in the world, but if she carries that confidence, she gets access to every place on this planet, is what I can say. That confidence can give her an access to a jet plane, a chartered flight, to entries into the best hotels and best malls.
But my audience might have a question. So Dom, you're saying the clients you see have a lot of money, so they have a lot of confidence. What about rest of us?
Yeah. So for that, like I said, start slow, take those baby steps, but keep it a disciplined way. Today, go to one place, explore that place. Today, you might not get an entry to it, but tomorrow, who knows? You would be on the VIP box of that place. And there are things like that which happened to me as well. I never knew I could be flying business class, but I started business class or premium economy. So a premium class from an economy class. So you never know. So just start one step at a time. You take one experience of that business class or take that one experience of economy. That itself will boost your confidence. You will feel like, oh yes, I have lived that moment. I have lived that experience. And you'll see a different person inside you because that confidence will be another level. It's because you know things. And above all, you have done things. What an HNI or what a regular, not a regular guy, but what a HNI guy does. So, that confidence immediately will show up on you. So live that moment if you can. You can start slow, no hard and fast rule that you need to do everything in one day. Start slow and keep that discipline on.
Another thing I've noticed about you, Dom, is in spite of always mingling with luxury and sophisticated crowd, how are you able to be so humble, grounded, and so friendly? I'm not seeing any changes in your attitude. I'm so happy to talk to you. It's the same Dom I'm seeing when I met you in Sutherland. Why all this is there in you? How are you able to be both in both the worlds?
So, Vimla, I think maybe because, like I said, it could be I have lovely friends like you who keep me grounded always, who are there to explain to me, when or how I'm losing touch of myself. So there are people who give you that, that reality check sometimes, and that's good to have. Like I said, or maybe because also the company that I'm working with, Tata itself is such a selfless company. I mean, in every actions of a step, they're so warm and welcoming. Be it at the retail, be it at the hotels in Taj, or be it at the Vistara or any airlines of Taj. We are very welcoming. So maybe I'm also glad that I chose a employer who carries the same kind of notion of being humble and giving back to the society or giving back to the people that you're associated with. So maybe that way also I'm always grounded. Yeah.
Yeah, because the values are telling. And one question about your France experience and how that has helped you to grow at wherever you are right now. And
so
go ahead.
So I'll take it back to the same answer. Live each moment in a day and you'll be confident. And when I went to France, it made me more confident. I could live there. I could speak French. Like I said, there were people who could mock at you, but that shouldn't hinder or that shouldn't bog you down. So when I was in France, I was living the French life, and that built my confidence because I could now know more about the European culture. And I knew more about the cheese, the wines, and all. And now I can talk about it to a great extent. So that changed my entire journey of transformation from who I was to who I was going to become. So that daring move, you know, in a foreign land, in a foreign language, so that really made me the person
I
who
thought
I
you will
could
not
be.
come back. I thought you would settle down there. I thought you will not come back.
I thought the same, but like I said, I was lucky enough. Delhi happened to me, or the profession chose me. So maybe Delhi saw that combination of French, Indian, Hindi, and that style, and yet at the same time an Indian. So maybe that's why Delhi happened to me, and I'm glad I'm going with a brand which is expanding exponentially and gonna go abroad and all that. So maybe through through work again, I'll be moving around like I used to roam around. I
On
mean,
behalf of
yeah.
on behalf of all the men out there, I'm going to ask you one more personal question. How are you able
Yeah.
to maintain that glowing skin always? However, Delhi is going to be hot, and even in Chennai, Dom will always look fresh, and you can never see him with tan skin, nothing. You are always glowing, fresh, and how? What is your diet? What is the secret of your glow?
So I think that this though I have to give it my mom and dad. I mean, I carry their genes, so maybe that's why. But otherwise, as a personal thing, I've always maintained personal hygiene. So maybe that has made me look fresh all the time, and a good styling and a good dressing sense. Maybe that's why. But really, on a personal thing, I'm always very hygienic. I prefer being well groomed, and I prefer well groomed people as well around me. I mean, it just sets the tone. It makes the day energized. It makes you look very positive, and it gives that vibrancy feel. I mean, it changes your mood when you see good colors on people, when you see good maintenance on people. When I say color, it does not mean you always have to be white. We don't have always a fair, bright person all the time. But the energy that exuberates on the face shows up. So even if you're tan, I think it should be very pleasant to look at. It should never be unpleasant. So maybe I always strive to look pleasant. So
I
that's why
have
you
seen
find
you.
it.
I have seen you
Yeah.
always fresh. I'm not talking of the skin tone. I'm not talking about the dusk or
Yeah.
dark or
Yeah.
fair. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the freshness in you. You would always be
Yes.
energetic. You're not sharing your
Yeah.
diet
So
secret. Share your diet secret.
diet is always so morning starts, if you want to know, like that, very simply. I start my day with warm water, undoubtedly, with some tulsi drops in it or some turmeric. Depends. Sometimes I take the turmeric, sometimes I take the tulsi drops, sometimes honey, and since I'm putting on weight, so I take sometimes the honey and the lime. But yes, daily morning warm water for sure. And when sadly last 2 years corona has taken its toll on all our health because of the lockdown. We all have been putting on a lot of weight, so I'm trying to cut down that weight because I used to have a regular routine of swimming. I used to swim a lot. I love swimming, so I do that. But last 2 years has been little difficult, but otherwise yes. Food, always I eat what makes me happy. I don't stress eat. I eat only what makes me happy. Like for example, I'm a hardcore meat lover. The vegans might not like me, but I'm a hardcore meat lover. So when the day I want to feel that I want to be happy, I eat meat or I eat some chocolate, and it gives that happiness quotient or those happy hormones show up. So once in a week, of course, not once, maybe more than 4 days in a week, I'm doing the diet which I love the most. Like I eat what makes me happy. So maybe that's why it shows up on the face. Yeah.
So where are you sitting now, Dom? Are you sitting in office? Home?
Yeah. So I am in one of my stores, like I mentioned earlier, Gurgaon, and this is the back office area. It's a lovely one, and so I have some customers on the floor, and my team is attending to them. So I didn't want to be too loud, and so I thought let me just sit inside. So I have an office, separate office in my Delhi office, but today I'm in Gurgaon. I like I said, my job involves traveling to go meet my teams across across the regions. So yeah, so today it was Gurgaon on my calendar.
Quick one-word questions. What is money according to you, Doc? One word.
Money is the means to secure your future, I would say. So don't blow it up. Don't spend it on unwanted things. Otherwise, you'll end up selling things that you didn't want for money. And so money just secures the future, but it's not all. You need the people. You need your friends. So, but if you get the money, just keep plowing it back into your savings or into bonds or into assets. So it will secure your future. And given times of Corona, you never know. In future, when would you need that money again? Yeah.
What is success according to you? Definition of success, your personal definition.
Yeah. So since success question is very relative, the success for me would be a happy home, a happy meal to return to. Like I said, I love lovely meat and chocolates, and you have that complete peace of mind at the end of the day. That
Are you a
very
reader?
sound.
Are you a reader?
Yes. So at nights I read a lot. I read on my tab, on iPad, or on the phone.
What is a book you're reading
Mostly
right
I'm reading. So I don't read books. So more than books, I do readings across various spectrums of what. So mostly I'm into news articles and history. So I read a lot on news. So for me, news is not just the television, but I read all the channels, be it the BBC, be it the NDTV, be it the CNN, or be it any local Pakistani news or Sri Lankan news. So I browse a lot of that at night because that lets me be with the times. And from there on, then whatever interesting topic comes on, like for example, we're talking about Russia and Ukraine of late. So then I research a lot about Ukraine on that, the Ukraine culture, the history, the past of it. So it's always me reading about history, culture, and all. Yeah.
What is your what are the few things you have stopped doing as we age, no? Out of wisdom, what have you stopped doing? What are you started doing to have your second
So yeah, so failures are always a stepping stones to success. So what I've learned is way to put my money right. So what I've stopped doing is I've started understanding where which money which I put in which basket gives me the return. I have learned that. And when I say return, it necessarily need not be only the financial return. It could also be a return of happiness. So yeah. So I've realized where to put the money and where not to put the money.
Some best practices from the best women you have come across in your life.
Best practices from the women that I've come across in my life.
Yeah. For
So
all my audience.
Yeah, sure. So maybe something from my mom that first see for us, the first touch of care, the first touch of love, the first touch of affection is mom. So something that I've learned a lot from my mom is multitasking. I mean, the women are always good multitaskers. But when I saw my mom heading a school and at the same time raising three boys, not even women, three boys, and then at the same time traveling and living the best of the life and coming from two different cultures, coming from a conservative Gujarati family, marrying a very Anglo family with the European imbibed style of living. So it was a big thing. So I learned a lot, and from that I understood that how nice it is to live in a diverse culture and to grow up in a diverse background. So that was one woman, and of course, second woman for me would be someone who's from my friend circle, like Vimla, and we had lovely other friends, Farana, and we had Usha, such lovely women in my life from Chennai, who I'm so thankful and grateful to, especially Usha, if you remember. She was very, yeah, and she was so kind, and I'm in touch with them also, just like I'm in touch with you today. So, like I said, it's always family and friends that bring that peace to you at the end of the day. So it's
If I
always,
give you a last 90 seconds, what is yours? What is your advice for all the women who are watching your? This is a
sure, I
channel
did
for
not.
women. This is a channel for women who want to pursue their passion and something they are stuck with. So, what is your suggestion? Because I invited you because you are the person known for passion and living for your passion.
Yeah, so I am dealing with the jewelry brand Zoya, and Zoya is all about women. And so Zoya as a culture also talks about how strong women are. You know, that is the brand DNA. It caters to women of today. So if I have to give you that on the similar line, it's all about independence. Women today need to be independent, and you don't have to depend on anyone. You don't need a guy to tell you what bindi to wear or what necklace to pick up. You have your own card. You have your own thought. You just have to swipe it and pick it up and live that moment, whether the other one likes it or not. So you're so grounded, yet you, like, it's like the tree. The tree is so grounded, yet in the jungle it grows up towards the sun, and it really comes forth like a tall tree showing the sunlight on the top. So you are that, you nurture that, you have that habit. So women, I would say, you already are so blessed by nature to be that nurturer. So you already sorted. Now all you have to do is reach for the sun. You need to see how far your tree can grow up. So just live that moment of uh, life of a heroine. You have been through so much bad things, or been through so much rough body changes, and the shy away, and whatever, how it is, the conservative society that we grew up in. So you have to let go of all those inhibitions and be like that tree in that hot Amazon jungle, or in that hot you know Bengal Sundarbans, something like that. You just got to grow. You're so blessed to be there. So you just have to ensure that you grow up the ladder. It need not be society.
Dom, one last word for the husbands of the wives who want to be whatever you described just now. One word for the men.
So I would say when it comes to men, it should always be, they should also support and not feel jealous of their own companion. They should be very supportive of who they are. And in today's society, it's not just men who have to work and bring food to the table. It can also be the women. And the roles are really changing. I mean, there are men, I have friends whose husbands are sitting in the house, and they are taking care of other things while the women are out and taking care of businesses. So, I mean, there's no shame in that. There's really no shame. And I'm talking about in cities like Delhi. So you need, at the end of the day, you might be a companion to each other, but at the same time, you have to give that space to each other to be whatever they want to be. It's just the way you have taken care of your kid. When you can give the independence to your kid to go and thrive world outside, you should also give that independence to your wife to go and thrive. But yes, everything comes with conditions.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Mutually accepted conditions.
Absolutely. There has to be a mutually accepted conditions.
Thank you so much, Dom. Very enriching and very nice. I feel very good. I wish I have more time, but there's someone who keeps calling you. I think you have to go now. Uh, we should meet again and go for another interview talking about more about luxury. And I also wanted to ask questions on communication, how you communicate so well, and what are the tips for women to learn something, to speak like you, or one last tip for communication skills for women.
Just listen to a lot of intellectual shows, be it in Hindi, be it in English, be it in Telugu, Tamil. Just listen to intellectual shows, because that is where you will end up having a strong vocabulary, a strong thought process, and you'll be talking more sense than nonsensical Saas Bahu talks.
Yeah, thank you so much. Take care, Dom. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take
Love
care.
you, love
Bye-bye.
you, love you.
Thank you. I love you too. Thank you.
Bye, Dom.
Bye.
So that's Dominic for us today. And I hope you all enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed speaking with him. And he is known for, as I said, luxury, style, communication, grounded person. And he mingles with very sophisticated crowd, but he can come and sit with you, chat like your brother and a very good friend. Such a lovely person. So I'm so happy to have connected with people like Dom, and hope you enjoyed. Dom is a representation of person following his passion and not giving his time or focus on anything just to survive. He has gone through a huge change in the way he interacts, or he has chosen, as he says, he didn't choose his profession has chosen him because that was his dream. So if you're really passionate about something, universe will conspire itself to make it happen. That's what has happened with John. So please believe in yourself, begin the action and bloom with grace. We can achieve our dreams and passion if only we are so focused and we have the will to work towards it and pay the price, whatever it may. Bye. I'll come back and see you again with another interesting person. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.